Hi, Anthony Carruthers, Better Lesson Master Teacher Project. And in this screencast, I'll be talking about the technology demonstration that I give that's part of showing that the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So up to this point, we've established that we can show that the circle circumference is 2 pi r if we can show that the limit as n goes to infinity, as we can see here, of this expression n sine 180 over n is equal to pi. So to do that, we're going to use Desmos. So I have Desmos queued up around here somewhere. Or maybe I don't. So let's get to Desmos. And once on Desmos, I want to create a table because this is a discrete function that we're going to be graphing. So in this table, I'm going to graph the variables n versus n sine 180 degrees over n. Okay, so notice I said 180 degrees, and notice I'm getting some really funky numbers here. So within Desmos, we need to go to our settings and change radians to degrees. All right, I'm also going to want to, on the x-axis, just keep things concentrated in the first quadrant. So I'm going to go from 0 and up to 50 should be great. And on the y-axis, same thing. I'll go from 0. We know that it should be approaching pi asymptotically, so I'm going to go up to 5 or so. Okay, so that takes care of the setup. We know that n can only be natural numbers greater than or equal to 3 if we're dealing with a polygon. So I'm going to put here 3, and this will be 4, 5, 6, 7. And then hopefully Desmos will catch on to what I'm doing. So if I just keep pressing enter like that, it'll basically fill in the series for me. So again, I'm going to go up to maybe 45 or so. Definitely enough to see that it's approaching some value. Okay, and then I want to graph the function y equals pi. So I'll just type the letters pi, and Desmos understands that as pi. So from this, we can now see that this function, this discrete function, which represents n sine 180 over n, is approaching pi as n gets closer and closer to infinity. Now, at a certain point, it looks like maybe the function values are actually on pi, but that's just kind of a limitation of the graphics. So we can verify that these points are not actually reaching pi, and we can also look at the table to see that because we know pi is actually 3.14, and then on to irrational infinity. So if I wanted to show students, again, that it doesn't actually reach pi, I would just show them more and more values, and we see it's actually getting closer and closer to pi, but actually never reaching pi. So that's the concept of approaching asymptotically. Pi is definitely the limit. We can get arbitrarily close to that limit. And the real important part is that since the function is approaching pi, we know that the perimeter of the polygon is approaching 2 pi r, and we know that the value that it's approaching is the circumference of a circle. Therefore, the circumference of the circle is 2 pi r. So this is how we kind of put a nice, neat bow on this and illustrate it for students. And yeah, hopefully that makes sense and it's something that you might be able to use. Anthony Carruthers, Better Lesson, Master Teacher Project.